Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Testing.
DC, you muted, man.
There, now you're off mute.
It wasn't her who killed him, Lila. She likes.
All right, we should be able to hear you now, DC.
No.
All right, can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
All right, I had to change my microphone settings. This is so I had to put when it says group chat and the Hangouts. That's the Hangout group chat, or that's the YouTube chat. Where everybody go?
Hangout group chat. That's the Hangout group chat.
Ah, okay. So I got to open up another window for YouTube then, right?
Yeah, you got to open a different window.
Gotcha.
But you already posted a link. That's how we got in.
Yeah. I posted it in the Hangouts at first, and I was like, "What the hell?" What's up, O? Welcome, my brother. What happened to Narcosis? What's up, Narcosis?
I'm here. What's up, buddy?
Man, it's a pleasure to have you on, my brother. So I really don't have nothing to talk about. I just wanted to try out this live. I'm trying to figure out how can I have both screens open. Rob Aquatics, it's still live, I think.
Yeah, you're still live. Look at in the Hangouts. When you see that yellow live button, you're live.
Okay.
DC, I thought you did this before, man.
Nah, man. Only thing I did was the like from my phone live. I never did the Hangouts, so and I always wanted to though. So all
right.
Yeah, here for the ride. Okay, so I got it with both screens. I can see both screens. So
all right, yep.
All right.
I usually pop out the chat, drag it to the side so you can see the chat.
Yeah. What's up, Tim?
Oh, we live. Second.
What's up, man?
See more.
Hey, here's something you're gonna have to do. Like some Android users won't be able to get in. So put the link. Take that original link that you posted in the chat. Put it in the Hangout chat for me.
Okay.
Is that made?
Put it in the Google Hangout.
DC, everybody pack out.
It said stop chewing my gum. I could go at some gum. All right, you said put it in the Hangouts or the
in the Hangouts chat. Once this is finished, I'll tell you how to I'll call you later and tell you how to make a Bitly link. But I got that. I got it.
All right. What's up, Death Age?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
I'm just shaking my head at you.
You shaking your head? Like I had
type all those instructions.
I had so much trouble trying to get this.
All those instructions.
This was harder than I thought. Like I had to download plugins and I couldn't recognize my camera. It was a mess. How's everybody doing?
Oh man, this right here feels just like 1 year ago. Got the whole old crew back.
What's up, Narcosis?
Reunion.
What's up, Death Mage? How you doing, bro?
Like, that's what I'm here. I'm here to bring everybody together.
Great.
And now I need y'all to go hit the like button and give me some super chats.
You don't have super chats.
I know, right? I don't have no super chat.
Wait, why don't you have you're not monetized, DC?
Nah, I don't do all that, man.
Did you apply for? Oh, you got to turn it on. You probably just have to turn it on in your settings.
All I gotta do is call my good friend with the check mark by her name, and she'll get that done for me.
Oh man, you probably didn't even turn it on.
I know, man. I don't care about that. Oh, I don't want people to donate. This is for fun, and that's it. And learning. Well, you ain't gonna learn nothing from me because I don't do nothing right. So this ain't the I'm not teaching nobody on this channel. This just we're gonna hang out and talk about our experiences here. You know what I'm saying? I think the experience is the best teacher. I was talking to Dion in the group me, and I hope he's in here. But he was having some issues with his tank. But we want to encourage him to stay in the hobby and keep it going. So I'm calling out Dion. Where's Dion Reef at? What's his name on YouTube? Dion 026, something like that.
Dion 0026.
My guys, what's the thing he say when he come in his chat? Yickety. Where you at, Dion? We calling out Dion. Go message him and group me. Death Mage. Tell him I'm putting him on blast live.
All right.
What's up, TMG? What's going on with them acros, bro?
DC, listen, his thing is always messed up, and it's always gonna be like that. I don't know if he got Metro PCS or what, man.
Oh. Hey, TMG, they'll let them talk to you like that, TMG.
He can't even hear, or he talking and we can't hear him.
You know what? That'd be a shame if TMG got all them acros and he got a Metro PCS phone.
Oh man,
Priorities.
Hey, Melody Simpson. Yeah, his priority. Look, that sound like TMG. His priorities backwards. Like he won't change the smoke detector.
Go away.
He won't change the smoke detector, but he'll buy a home wrecker. Oh, there you go, Dion. Somebody drop. Can you drop the link for me? Or do I just drop the regular link?
So there's 2 links. If you scroll up a little bit earlier, I got 2 links. You got the Bitly link, and
This bill is overdue.
So once, all right. So you see that Bitly link I just posted, DC?
Yeah.
If you right-click on it, right-click on the Bitly link, and you're using Chrome as your browser, right?
Yeah.
Right-click and you see there's a menu. There's an option that's called Copy Link Address.
Okay. Copy that.
Yeah, and then paste that. And between those 2 links, most people could get in. There's a few people with Android that it won't work. But you can ask them to message you on Facebook, or you could post it in the group me, or you can do it to them. I just put it on Reef Community USA. If anybody wants to just go to Facebook, Reef Community USA, I put the link there. Android users should be able to just copy it right from there.
Nice. So if anybody want to join, y'all know how to join. Just click the link. I didn't pop.
Yo.
Dion, what's up, brother?
Let's go, little brother from another. Yes.
Goon Squad in the building. Yeah. All right, Dion.
All right, we back. We back.
We back.
What's up?
All right, we have an intervention with Dion.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody turn your lights down low. Let's have Dion. Let's give Dion the floor and just tell us about your experience and what you're going through right now in the hobby.
All right, so what I'm going through right now in the hobby is some tragic ick, man. That saltwater ick is nothing but the devil for me. It's fish are dying. The 6-line rash is 6 feet deep right now. I got countdown on the line blenny and a countdown on the flasher rash. So I had picked up some fish the other day from the what's the fish store called in Lancaster, PA? That fish place.
Yeah.
And I put the fish in the 25-gallon lagoon. I did a video and I was so excited. I started seeing little dots on the fish. Woo! So I went and started doing some research. I don't know if I should throw the man out there like that since I got a lot of smoke on it earlier, but I had went and did the method where I put a quarantine tank up and set up a quarantine tank to get this ick problem out of my main display, because that's the resources I told was the best thing to do when you got ick. Treat the fish in a quarantine tank. So I set the quarantine tank up, but little tanks dying one by one on me, man. Got me a little heartbroken. I feel like I ain't built for this saltwater hobby right now.
All right. So we heard you. We heard your testimony. I feel like church right now. Okay, so we got all the deacons and the preachers of the church at the Reef Church in the building.
Right.
We're gonna rally. We're gonna rally around you, Dion, because we want you to stay in the hobby, man. I know it's frustrating, man. I've lost tons of fish, bro. I mean, I still do. You know, there's no guarantee on the you go buy a fish that they're gonna make it. I've lost powder blues, purple tangs, every fish you could name. I didn't basically I knew, And the one thing is, I'm always a determined guy. You kind of remind me of myself a little bit, Dion. How you fun spirited, very determined and very energetic, and I like that. So I'm gonna say my piece. I said I put it in the group me that I'm going to come to Delaware, and we're gonna go to the fish place together, and we're gonna get this thing fired back up. So I'm gonna pass
Goon
the mic,
Squad.
Lagoon Squad. I'm gonna go pass the mic to Death Mage and let her say her piece.
I feel because you're new
Right,
and you already have a lot of your freshwater tanks, and because you get so excited, I feel like you should just focus on one saltwater tank at a time.
right.
You just have so much, and you get so excited, and the first thing something happens, you just speeding off, you
Just,
know.
just crash into a wall.
So I think, like, I know you want to get out. I don't think you should get out, but I do think maybe you should go down to just one tank and just
Right.
enjoy that one tank. And then once you get it with that one tank, then if you want to have like multiple tanks after that, you already know what to do and what the experience is. So you'll be more prepared for multiple tanks after that.
The baby
Okay.
on the way to her.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr.
well said, Mage. Well said, Deaconess.
Thank you, Saint Mage. All right, we got Saint Nick in here. Welcome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how
All
we
right,
doing?
so
Hey, Nick.
Oh
we
man.
want you to
Hey,
we
Mage.
want Saint Nick to
Hey, look.
keep it brief, Nick. Keep it nice and brief. But give what kind of words you got for
I
Dion?
gotta run, y'all. I'm at work.
I just
Dion's
listening.
got a
Thank y'all
split.
so much.
Dion's
I
got
was
a
listening
split.
in. Yes.
Go ahead, Nick. What you got for Dion?
I don't really know his situation. What's the situation? How many fish has he got? What size system is
Okay.
it?
I got a
Have you
little
got
bit of
corals
ink
in there or
going
just
on.
fish?
Let me get this patient, y'all. I was chatting back in. It's an ick situation. Oh, so what's going on is I had added some new fish inside of a tank, right? And I was just excited. I didn't quarantine them. I just acclimated them to the tank in the bags while floating them. And then I had drip acclimated them inside a bucket with the little, the drip acclimation.
Mm-hmm.
I put them in the tank and they was doing great. They was even eating. Then I was just looking at them for a little bit and I started seeing white spots. Ooh, I panicked because I know that's the reef keeper devil right there, right? So I was doing some research and I had to set up a quarantine tank. But then I set the quarantine tank up, man, them things dropping like flies. They not doing so good. So that's what's going on right now. I'm feeling like I'm being defeated with the ick, man. It's the devil, and it seems like I'm not getting a hang on it. But
Have you got
listen,
corals in
I
there?
actually got to do it. I got to do a transport on a call. I'm tripping right now. I don't even know why I jumped up and yelled at work, yo. I got to go. Yo,
You
y'all
go
rock.
handle business. Go and handle
All
business,
right.
man.
All right, thanks, Dion.
All
Thanks,
right.
for coming through.
Later. Yep.
What's going
What's going on, John?
Nick, he does have corals in his tanks.
You got corals in his tanks?
Yes, he
Right.
do. And I think he has two tanks. He has a 25-gallon lagoon and he has a 20-gallon. And the QT tank he set up was his old 13.5 Uber.
on?
Yeah.
Right. I got you. I mean, for me, ick I tend not to do the quarantine thing if I can help it, because you end up stressing the fish out. And then if you haven't set the quarantine tank up using, correctly and stuff, then if you do it as a new system, then that can cause more problems with the stress on the fish. So
He
I tend to try
used
and treat it in the tank if I can, if
he
possible.
he he set up the 13.5 with water from the old tank,
Right.
live rock from the old tank, and colony as in the QT tank. I tend to do like you do.
Mm,
I just maintain the problem. I don't try to eradicate it because I feel like ick is gonna always be in the tank. I've had ick in my tank for 2 years. I only seen it pop up twice. Never lost
yeah.
any fish from it. Um, Q10 is not bad, but there's nothing in this hobby that's 100% proof except the nitrogen cycle.
Mm,
Period. I don't feel that nothing's 100% proof. QT is not 100% proof. Maintaining the problem inside your tank is not 100%. Either way it go, you have a possibility of losing
mm.
fish. It's just what it is.
Have either of you guys tried hyposalinity?
No.
Hypo.
Yeah.
My LFS
Nope.
does that.
My LFS runs hypo.
So what's the real difference in the hypo and the copper treatment?
In my opinion, hypo, you're not putting chemicals in the tank. You're taking your salinity down to 009 to 010, somewhere in between. Some people do 011. And basically what it is the ick parasite can't survive in that. It just bursts. But the problem with it is a lot of people make the mistake of they lower their salinity too fast or they raise their salinity too. Now, the way I do it is I just slowly add fresh water to the tank. Like I'll take a gallon of salt out and I'll add a gallon of fresh over the course of a week till I get it down to my 009. Okay. And then after 4 to 6 weeks of doing the tank that way, and usually you want to do that with a Fowler tank only. You don't want to have any coral or any inverts in there when you do it. So if you have a secondary tank that you can put them in, that's the best way to do that. But anyway, when you raise your salinity, what I do is I let my water evaporate, and then I'll mix up a small batch of 025, and I'll add that to it instead of adding fresh water to it. And I'll do that over the course of about 3 to 4 weeks. So technically for me, it takes up 2.5 months for me to do it on a Fowler tank. But I've noticed that my fish stay healthier that way. I'm not treating them with copper. I'm not because some fish you throw copper in the tank and they're just gonna die. You know what I mean? They're not meant to have copper in them. Or you can overdose. You can overtreat the problem. Whereas hyposalinity, if you take your time with it going down and going back up, the only thing you're changing is your salinity in the tank. So that's my take on it. That's my opinion, but I mean, to each their own. You know what I'm saying?
That's like a brilliant way to do it. I'm not even gonna lie. The way you just broke it down, that's like
right.
Really kind of like foolproof.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's foolproof. I have
Don't say
lost a couple of fish after.
No. Not. I mean, like when I say fool, I mean like idiot proof. Like the way you break it down.
To follow. You mean to follow the method, right?
Yeah. The method of how you're bringing down the salinity and then how you're bringing it back up.
Right.
And then over that course of time, I really, really like how you like the fact that you do that. That's really cool. Yeah, I get my pictures out of hypo. My LFS does hypo salinity.
Right.
I just don't mind the tank.
I think that's cool. I got a question though with that. How would you know how much water to remove? Like, say you got a 20 gallon. Would you like remove a cup of water to? I mean, how would you gauge that?
No, I just I've got a water jug. It's a 4.5 gallon water jug that I bought from the LFS. That it came with salt water in it, and it's metered down the side of it. So I've got 4.5 all the way down to 0. So I usually use that, and I've also got a couple of 1 gallon containers as well as a 5 gallon bucket. Now the trick is with 5 gallon buckets, if you've never worked in the food industry and seen a metered 5 gallon bucket, the top line or the bottom of the rim is not quite 5 gallons, and not all 5 gallon buckets are created equal. So my thing to you guys is go to Walmart, buy one of the 50-cent gallons of water, take that guy, dump it into your 5 gallon bucket, put a line on the side of your bucket, fill it back up, put another one in there, put another line on it. So now you got 2 gallons, and keep doing that until you have your 5 gallon mark. Now you have a metered bucket, and depending on the size of your tank, you see what I'm saying? So I've got 2 29 gallons that are going now. One of them is in the process of coming out of hypo. The other one has my eels in it, which they're fine. So what I do is, if I need to mix a gallon, I mix a gallon. If I need to take out a gallon, I take out a gallon. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And every time you're doing the gallon or taking out the gallon, you're testing your salinity, right?
Yes, ma'am. Religiously. This tank,
I just want to make sure
on it.
People listening hear that because
Yes, daily. I test it daily because I want to know, because you're going to get evap. I don't care if you've got a lid on your tank or not. You're going to get evap. So if you're in the middle of taking it down or raising it back up, when you're raising it back up, though, like I said, the way I do it, I lose in this tank. I lose about a gallon and a half, 2.5, depends on how hot it is downstairs. a week. So like I said, 1.5 gallons, 2.5 gallons a week. So, and like I said, what I'm doing is instead of, doing my normal manual, freshwater top off, I mix a gallon or so, depends on how much has evapped. I mix it to where it's, 0.25, and then I add it, and then I test it. Because the thing is, you can lower a fish to hyposalinity within 2 or 3 days safely. But if you jack that salinity back up to your normal, whether it's 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, you're going to stress the fish out. You're going to give them, what I call salinity burn in their gills, and they're going to die. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, imagine staying out of the sun for, 3 months and then go spend a whole day at the beach. You're going to get burnt, right? Whereas if you spend, an hour a day for 2 weeks out in the sun, then you go to the beach and spend a whole day outside, you're not going to get as burnt. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So just be very careful going down and be very careful going up. I do that for ick. I wished it worked that easily for, salt water. I'm sorry, freshwater. But that's been what's worked for me. And I don't have to worry about, putting copper in my tank to the point to where, is it going to get in my silicone? Is it going to stay in my rocks? Is it going to stay in the sand? You see what I'm saying? Stay in my filter media, which obviously you would throw away your filter media to begin with. But I don't have to worry about any of the adverse effects from it later.
But Dion's whole thing was the QT part, period. The transfer of the fish.
Right. Now, see, for me, I'd just gotten back in the hobby. I built up a nice, baby tang selection in my tank. And then I saw a beautiful coral beauty, and I had to have it. And I knew I shouldn't have bought it, but I had to have it. And I bought it, brought it home. The next day, my whole tank is outbroken with ick. Everybody was sick. I should have quarantined. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I don't. I haven't, but I should have. You see what I'm saying? Because it's that easy. You know what I mean? Out of the 15, 20 or so fish that I had in the tank, the last one is the one that ended up murking everybody because I was impatient. I didn't take my time. I should have set up a quarantine tank. You know what I'm saying? It in my mind, if you're gonna buy a fish from the LFS, instead of having that impulse buy, ooh, I haven't seen this in a couple of days. Walk in, tell the LFS, hey, I want this fish, but I don't. Can I come back in a couple of days and get it? And then come back in a couple of days and look at the health of the fish. See if you can see the fish eating. You know what I mean? You can do it that way too. You know
Yo, John, that's
yes.
funny you said that. We were streaming earlier, and we kind of had a very similar talk, not necessarily on the egg, but just if you can't do the quarantine route, another alternative, which is basically leaving a fish, like never do impulse buys on fishes that they just get in. And just let them chill out at the LFS for 2 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. My LFS personally, they run very low copper and hypo as well. Not crazy hypo. I think it's at 18. So I can literally, I toss the fishes right in my tank. I don't acclimate them. So it's not the hypo isn't too aggressive.
Right.
But I let them rock out at the LFS. I'll even put a deposit if I have to.
Exactly.
Put a deposit, and if it's gonna die, I want it to die there. Not
exactly.
Not with me,
They can order you another one. Where most LFSs don't have guarantee on the saltwater.
Hey, TMG. I hear you on that though. That's and I think TMG was the one that said that it's important to have a relationship with your LFS. That way, you can just deal with that particular LFS.
I love my LFS.
Yeah, when it comes to fish. So
if I tell my LFS, hey, look, I want to buy that, but I don't have room in my tank for it right now, or I don't quite have the cash for it, they'll hold it for me. They held stuff for me for 2 months because I couldn't afford it. And I just kept coming in, putting in money. And really what it was is I didn't want to spend $250 on a purple tang in one shot. You see what I'm saying? So I kept coming in and putting $25 down on the guy, and then finally, dropped a $100 bill on him. But really what I was doing was I was seeing what the fish was looking like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, especially new reefers, you guys kind of need to When it comes to patience, that's one.
None of us have it.
No, none of us do.
No. I'm just saying. Like, if there's one thing you can help, it's impulse buys are hard to change. You know what I mean? Trust me, I do them all the time. But you know what I mean? Like, always let the LFS do the quarantining for you if you don't have the means to quarantine yourself. You know, or even if you do, nothing is wrong with doing what John said, running hypo, and letting the LFS handle the chemical part of it.
Right.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
think.
Hey, Nat.
Fellas, I think it's very important. Like, for example, my LFS, they only sell fish after having it for a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Right.
So I think it's best for people to have like a main LFS that they deal with, and you can't just randomly buy fish everywhere. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of people do. They just go to LFS and just pick up a fish.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is my LFS will hold the fish for a week and a half to 2 weeks, make sure that it's eaten, then sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
That way, nobody has any issues or bringing fish back that they died, and bring great success that way.
Yeah. See, I knew an LFS that did that as well. And then they started declining. They basically started focusing on quantity versus quality. They used to have a completely offline system. They would get the fish in and put them downstairs, run them through the ring, and then bring them upstairs to the main display. And you know what I mean? And then they just stopped doing that. And
hold on, Deacon TMG. Hold on. We want to welcome Sister Tina Reef
Tina
to the Reef Church.
Welcome to the church.
Welcome to church. We're having church. We having Reef Church tonight, y'all.
No tithe and offering required.
Yeah, no ties. You don't have to pay to come to this church. This is a free will church, Reef Church here.
Right.
Share your experience.
You get a tax break though.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all want to get a pastor little offering, I wouldn't mind.
Go monetize, man, so we can actually hit you up with them super chats.
It goes to the school. I mean, I'm gonna have that set up where it goes. Everything anybody want to donate will go to the school tank.
Right.
But right now, no super chats.
But you gotta do it to it though, man.
Huh?
You got to do it to it. As soon as you activate that, we can do it, so you can donate it to the school.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to do something like special for the school, not just like super chats. I kind of want to do something special where anybody that donates, it'll go, it'll have some meaning to it. It won't just be a dollar amount. So I got some ideas for that, but we're gonna try to do this every Monday. If y'all okay with that, we'll just have church.
Yeah.
So everybody that want to keep having church on Mondays. We don't do church on Sunday. We do Reef Church on Monday. Type in the chat church and put a church emoji, some pause, some amen, a hallelujah, preaching, all that in the chat. And let me know how y'all feel about it.
You gotta find them emojis, man. Hold on.
I feel like I just preached the whole sermon just then. I did. Pastor DC.
No, DC, do you notice one thing though? No beeping.
No, amen. I know. Listen.
Amen.
Amen to that.
I want to say to the fish congregation, the Lord has answered your prayers. No longer will y'all be on the live stream hearing the annoying people.
This guy,
Really?
We got Pastor Brother John in here.
I'm gonna make a deacon today, Deacon Ninja, Infamous Aquatics. You have been promoted to a moderator, and now you are a deacon of the church. Want to clap our hands for Deacon Ninja. Nah, I can't make him a moderator. How do I do that?
I think you click on his name and then get the dot.
All right, I see the dot. I got it. It keeps.
Mage, he out here giving out blessings he can't grant.
I just blessed. Hey, Deacon Ninja, I just blessed you.
Oh man,
Rich.
Oh,
hey, y'all wanna know why he didn't say my name?
John.
Deacon, hey, brother, you're a brother right now, John, because I heard what you've been doing to my lagoon.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. Y'all wonder why he didn't say my name? Because I bought that lagoon, I drilled the mess out of it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It's time for you to confess all your sins, Reef Church. Now we're gonna give you the floor, John. We're gonna give you 20 seconds. We're gonna give you 30 seconds to explain yourself to the church.
All right. So bottom line is I needed a bigger system for my frag tanks. And C needed to get rid of that tank, so I snatched it up. Well, in the middle of talking with C about it, I was like, look, my old lady wants to do seahorses, and I want a display huge. Plus, I want to add some more water volume to that, so that way it's easier to keep my swings in check. So you put 2, 2, and 2 together, you equal 6, and here we are, and it'll be done soon.
Okay, all right, brother. That wasn't as painful as I thought.
Nah.
I like the idea. I like the idea that you want to kind of like consolidate everything so you can have one big water volume. That was the reason why I did have to sell off the lagoon, because I didn't want to have to deal with different water volumes, different dosing, different lighting. You know, I kind of want to have it all in one. So we okay with that.
One final thing to that, it's nothing's permanent. So like if I want to, I mean, I've got glass, spare glass laying downstairs from older tanks. I'm the guy that'll go to the LFS and they know me. They know what I do with old tanks. I build stuff out of them. So if they get a busted tank or they buy a tank from somebody that's broke, or it comes in and they break it, they hold it for me and I give them a couple bucks. They give me the tank. So bottom line is, if I ever decide to take the sump off of this thing, all I have to do is I left all the stuff in the back of it. So all I got to do is use some silicone and some glass and bam, plug up the holes. And I got a 25 lagoon all in one all over again.
Okay.
There you go.
Anybody else in the congregation want to come up in here and testify, share your reef story with us?
I want to testify.
Okay, Sister Tina, you got the mic. It's on you. Go ahead. Yesterday,
I freaked out because I found a big old crab, a hitchhiker crab, in my tank. And I forcefully evicted him.
You did get it out?
We ended up killing it by accident. We wanted to put him into crab purgatory in the sump, or the crab correctional facility. That's what Melissa called it. It was about 3 inches, and the body was about 3 inches long. And the claws on this thing, John can tell you, was as big as our thumb.
Yeah, it was as big as my thumb. My thumb's bigger than hers. That thing was huge.
How'd you kill it?
What kind of crab was it? That sounds like a good crab.
I think it was a red-eyed black reef crab.
We're not for sure, because I went in and we looked up pictures of my LFS, and they're saying it was either a rock crab or a pebble crab.
Oh man!
They get huge from the pictures that they were showing me. I'm talking dinner plate size crab.
Sounds like a Sally Lightfoot.
It wasn't Sally Lightfoot. It was way too dark, man. This thing was blacker than the Ace of Spades, man.
Probably was the African Sally Lightfoot.
Hey, I mean,
now I know. But now I know what's been killing my corals, and it ain't been the coral beauty. So
yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad you got that out.
It didn't go to waste. The cleanup crew had a good snack that night.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Dion's back in the church.
We got Dion back.
What's the question?
My confession is, I done burnt me a bird's nest coral so that thing was white down to the bone. I took it off the rock, threw it away, and I won't go tell nobody. I gotta let y'all know I'm going through it around here.
Oh my God!
Hey, you know what,
Dion, I'm gonna be praying for you, bro. I'm gonna be praying for you, man. Pray for me, bro.
Hey, all prayers to Dion, brother Dion.
We want to. You know what I do, Dion?
We want to welcome Deacon Ninja to the chat.
I leave my corpses in front of my tank as motivation to not do that the next time.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to live stream today for our dear brother Dion, because he's going through. He's hit the reef wall right now, and he got the bug, and now he has hit it head on. So we try to encourage brother Dion to stay in the hobby. We need more reefers like him. He brings a special passion and excitement.
Yes.
I just love. So we're gonna toss it over to You know what? It's perfect that you came in here, Deacon Ninja, because you went through basically a tank crash yourself, so you could kind of speak to Dion right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to you.
I've been through several of those, man.
Okay, Bruno.
What's it called? There was what's it called? One of my first ones was actually when I had black velvet outbreak.
Oh.
Yeah. Tank had to shut down, go completely fouler for like 6 months, it felt like.
Talk that talk.
But man, it's just one of those things, like, how do I explain it? Just gotta stay positive, understand that everything needs to be taken slow. And if you're like just dumping so much in right away and you're just starting, it's a fact. Something's gonna go wrong. You're gonna overlook something, and you just need to slow down. You know what I mean? Because you're just, to be honest, you're probably too invested too quickly. And this hobby's long term, man. You can't just like rush in.
Right.
Because it's a guarantee you're gonna have a problem. And do you want to have a problem when you have $50 worth of corals, or do you want to have a problem when there's $1,000, $2,000 worth of corals? Like, keep your head cool. Like, understand, like, right now it's really exciting, and that it's gonna take some self-discipline to chill out. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean, like, by any means to be like, oh, you see something you really want, grab it. But just remember, like, keep calm, save some money, make your mistakes, and just keep your head up, because it happens to everybody. I've had the black velvet outbreak. I've had 2 hurricanes happen, and yeah, I've had 2 hurricanes, and it's like 3 times that my tank like completely crashed or whatever, and you just gotta roll with it. And then I've also moved to Austin, lost a bunch of corals. You know, understand this hobby's like long term, that there's gonna be ups and downs. And to be honest, my rule of thumb is if I'm scared I'm gonna lose something, I spent too much on it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put stuff in my tank, and if it's just for fun, because at the end of the day, like, for me, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. For me, at the end of the day, no matter what I get, whether it's a $5 frag or a $100 frag, majority of people that walk by it are gonna say that's beautiful. That's because the majority of people aren't in the hobby. And to be honest, the hobby's fun for me because it's relaxing and it's stress free. So if I have like a $400, $500, $600 coral, I'm far from stress free. You know what I mean? I'm freaking out. And that's just myself, man. But I think the biggest thing of advice is that just keep it cool. Understand that you're not the only person. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened to you, but whatever it is, I guarantee you're not the only person. There's a solution to every problem, and there's a lesson in every failure. So it's like, just take it, learn from it, understand it's the first of many, and that you just gotta keep moving. If you enjoy the hobby, you just enjoy the hobby. And unfortunately, the downside is part of the hobby too.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was so prophetic.
That's encouraging word.
Brother Moses tonight. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And if I could, I'd kind of like to add too. You know, don't give up. Just because you have one failure or 2 or 3, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Take the lessons you learn from those failures and turn them around and turn them into a success story.
Yeah.
Oh, share your knowledge. Share what has happened to you that did get you to that breaking point, and what you did to turn it around. There's somebody else that's new, getting into the hobby, might be going through the same problem as you. Now you have some knowledge to drop on them to keep them from spending all this money for this investment to turn around and just get rid of it. Because we all know you buy this expensive hardware, you know, equipment, tech, tanks. When you go to sell it, you're either going to sit on it for a hot minute, or you ain't going to get nowhere near what you paid for it. Yeah. So you might as well just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's true. And to be honest, like, for instance, the velvet issue, I learned 2 things. That one, I either need to start quarantining, or 2, for it to be stress-free, I need to go like fishless. I decided, like, for me, fishless was the better option, but there's lessons in that, you know what I mean? But there's also, like, with that said, there's obstacles. Like, people always, I get comments right now too about, like, oh, of course you're not gonna have algae, you don't have fish. But it's like, y'all, like, there's a whole side to that. I still have to maintain a nitrogen cycle, even though there's no fish. You know what I mean? So I could always have my beneficial bacteria crash, and then all of a sudden I have algae. But people don't realize that, and that's one reason too. Like, we really encourage like people posting videos because there are lessons to be learned from everybody, right? Like right now, I'm going through an elegance issue, and I'm posting every single step. I'm filming like I'm starting a new kind of update where like I almost vlog it. So literally every day I see the tank, I'm updating on what's going on, who made suggestions, which suggestions I'm implementing, which ones I'm not going to implement, and every like the whole video. By the end of the video, hopefully by the end of the month, we'll either know what's going on with this elegance. And
That
there's
takes a lot of courage, man. I know I was telling Dion that everybody don't post the bad and the ugly. We usually post the good. You know, it's similar like how when people come over our house, we clean the glass. You know, that's the first thing we do. We clean up. We don't show how the tank is in its you know, how it is regularly, basically.
Yeah.
So I actually admire that about you, Infamous, that you can actually film the ugly, you know, part of
man.
the tank.
I feel like it's a responsibility, especially when you have like I'm not gonna say I have like a big following, but I have a decent amount of subscribers, and it's like
I'm a fan.
To appreciate you, like to just show the positive would be an injustice to everyone, right?
Exactly.
Because I'm not one of those channels like, oh, you're gonna learn so much, like I'm super into this, like, oh, I know everything. I'm not gonna pretend that, right? Like, spoiler alert, my next update, everything that can be going. I have aptasia, I have bubble algae, I have the elegance tripping. Like, there's a few things I'm working on. You know what I mean? And this whole month it's been like step by step what I'm doing, and again like who I'm taking, whose advice I'm taking, and so on and so forth. And hopefully there's like a lesson to be learned, whether it be like, oh, this worked for the bubble algae, or this worked for the aptasia, or this did not. Either way, there's something to be learned from both of those.
Church.
Yeah, man.
Anybody else want to share a story? I know my reef wife has a story that
But some people
she's just dying to confess. It's like on her heart. So I'm
some
gonna get.
people already know. I did do a live stream and I did explain what happened to my tank. But for those of you who weren't in there, for the past 3 weeks, I guess, been going through personal issues and things on the stream, and then my tank, and it's just, that's why I've been MIA for a good bit. But I had my floors redone in my house, so a lot of y'all know I have a 125-gallon and a 75-gallon that sits in my main living space. So those had to be moved. That 125 had to be completely broken down in order to get it out. So we ended up putting, and when they came, I didn't have time to get like a big trough or whatever, because that week they called me was the week they came out, you know. So it's like, okay, well, I need to hurry and break this tank down and get these fish somewhere. I have a big brute can where I mix salt water. So I put the rock and the fish in there, and it was only supposed to be for like maybe 1 or 2 days. Well, they end up being in there for almost a week. They end up dying. Almost all of my fish in my 125-gallon. I thought I was
Sorry to
able
hear
to
that.
save my. I thought I was able to save my magnificent fox face, because I saw him kind of struggling. So I took him out, put him in the 75. In the 75, I had to lower the water a little bit below half in that tank for them to even move that one around. So I didn't have to take the fish out. So my King Kong, my Archer hawkfish, all those fish you guys saw in my 125, except for my dragon wrasse, my leopard wrasse, and my scooter blenny, they all died. Now, because of so much stress, because of the move, some of my fish in my 75 are beginning to show issues. Now, these are fish I've had for a long, 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 long time. Haven't added any new fish, so me personally, I just think it's just because of what was going on, and they had to be in a environment they weren't used to, and I couldn't feed them like I wanted to, because had to lower the water and make sure that ammonia didn't build up, because it didn't have that same volume of water. I had to take the sumps out, so it was just a lot of stuff going on with those tanks at the time. So in the 75, that big Clarkie that you guys used to see, that fish died on me the other day. The male died on me as well. The fish that are doing great, that have no issues, is in my 16-gallon nano, which never had to be touched because it's in the kitchen. So those fish are fine. But the fish in the 75 right now, some of them are doing fine and some of them are not, but it's not ick. It's something else. Like I said, I've seen ick twice in my tank, never have any fish die. I know what that looks like. This is something else because it's like their slime coat just peeling off. Just peeling off. And I do have two 10-gallon tanks I could set up as a QT, but my house is a storm right now. So right now I'm trying to put everything back in its place, you know, sofas, beds, you know, from moving the floor. So it's like, only thing I could do is medicate their food and feed them. Hopefully they can fight through it. It looks like the rashes and the scooter bleeds might be the ones that fight through that. But those, my Nemos in that 75 definitely are having a good issue. The tangs look okay. I first noticed it on the Nemos, the clownfish. I call them all Nemos, so I don't care what color they are. But I first noticed it on them. I don't know what it's just one after the other, like, and it doesn't kill that fast, so it's something else. But yeah, that's my church story. And then because I was so frustrated and I was like, well, should I set up, I talked to a few guys, I was like, should I set the 125 back up or should I just go ahead and sell it? Because in actuality, you guys remember when I set that tank up, I really didn't like the way it was drilled. So because I really didn't like it, it was like, well, why don't you just sell it and get what you want? So I would, later on down the road, I plan on getting a Red Sea Reefer 750 XXL, which is, I like the 6-foot tanks because I like big fish. Oh, and my triggerfish died too. Both my triggerfishes died, and I've had that triggerfish for 2 years, that Hawaiian black, for 2 years. So I didn't sell the tank. I traded a tank. So I downsized from 125 and I joined the Lagoon Squad. So I have a lagoon in the living room right now. I haven't set up yet, but this one is not an all-in-one. This one has a sump and everything. So I have the full space of a 25-gallon lagoon. So I'm gonna set up another tank, and that way I could move my Nemos and my pufferfish from my 16-gallon to that tank, and they have more swimming room. But yeah, I lost a lot of fish because of that. Like, I remember Rico asked a question on the stream, what's the biggest problem you guys think is with big tanks? For me, it's moving tanks, because I'm by myself for one, and I feel anytime you move fish, you stress them out. And a big tank is definitely hard to move. That 125, no matter how you looked at it, was not going to be able to be moved, even with half water in it. It's just too heavy. You had to break it all the way down. So it's
I
caused
agree
a lot of issues.
100%. I think that's why another reason why I'm because I'm trying to move, get in the house, but it's like I got the itch to go bigger, but I got to kind of calm myself down. Like, how big is too big? And I think I'm not saying that the 125 was too big for you, Mage, but I know for me, you got to kind of set a limit to what kind of reefer you are,
Right.
But you don't want to keep, like, I thought it was like a really good idea for you to jump back into the nano and get a lagoon, because it's so much easier to manage, even though it has to be baby. But it's easier to manage because I picked up and moved that thing myself,
Yeah.
Right.
had no problem.
That's the good part about the smaller tanks. But because I like big fish,
Yeah.
I like my triggerfish. Those are my favorite fish. And
Yeah.
You could start them off as a little bitty, but man, my triggerfish that black one was at least 8 inches long. He was big, so I won't go any bigger than anything under a 200-gallon is fine for me. But when you having housework done, that's when the problem comes in. When you gotta have stuff done where those tanks are at. And you gotta figure out, oh my God, I gotta move this stuff. So
True. So we got thank you for that beautiful testimony. And I say beautiful because it's gonna encourage somebody else to keep staying in the hobby, you know. Hopefully Dion listening to that. I hope somebody else that's in the chat or maybe not in the chat that's just listening in and going through some hardships because this hobby will it's gonna test you. It ain't like not saying that freshwater won't because I wasn't in freshwater long, but I know with saltwater I've been doing saltwater since 2006 off and on, and I mean I've been seeing it a lot of it. I ain't say I have seen it all, but I seen my fair share, and I'm pretty content with what I kind of took my lumps and bruises, but I know everything is not always going to be peachy in this hobby. I want to say hello to Alex G Aquariums. Alex, if you want to join, I could drop the link for you. Would like to share one of your stories. We have a reef church, guys. I don't know if you guys go to church regularly, but in church,
amen.
You have all kinds of confessions and preachers and
you
all
know
that
what's
stuff.
so funny? Because I'm not big into corals, right? And I did have corals in that 125. Them corals lived, and I'm like, y'all could have just died and just kept my fish.
Yeah. Right. Dang,
I mean, to be honest with you,
sacrifice the corals.
if the corals would have died, I would have had no problem with that.
Yeah.
But my fish, I like fish. Yeah, they're my babies. I come to the tank, they greet me. I could in my 125, I could feed them with my hand. They got so intimate with my hand that they didn't know the difference between that and food. Like I put my hand in the tank, the triggerfish comes up. I literally have to push him with my hand the other side of the tank because he think I got food. That's how close. Like usually you stick your hand in the tank, they run away. Not every time I stuck my hand in the tank, it was like eat time, and they were right there. So
yeah, I can see that. Personally, though, like
somebody said I might have Brooke. It probably is.
Personally, I like corals, and that's why I really love that's one reason I downsized, because when I had the 90, it was it was gonna take a lot of money to fill it up with corals. So that's just one reason why I brought it down to the 16.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like, man, if I could keep the lagoon, I would, man. But because I like how I could pack it out with corals in a very quick time.
Yeah.
But you're right up close on it. You it just brings you closer to the tank. Like it's something about, and definitely you're going to experience this more with the lagoon. You kind of hovering over it. It's your little
Well, I do have a nano. I have a 16-gallon that used to be my invert tank, but because I wasn't big with corals, I think got 3 corals in that tank.
Okay, I'm just I mean, I'm not saying what you should do, but try packing it out with corals and see how you feel after that. You
the
really
thing
gonna
is too, with the smaller tank, you're way more selective about what corals you put in, because you only have so much room.
Right. Yeah, and that'll teach you another lesson too, because I'm a guy that can't say no to corals. So I was buying corals and putting them too close to each other, and not knowing. I mean, like I said, this hobby will teach you some costly lessons. After I actually saw my the gold torch just straight up shred a Gandia pour. I mean, it was just melted, man. And when I can't, and my lagoon was at work, so I'm coming in to work and just witnessing deaths. And I didn't post every bad thing, I posted some, but just to say, I mean, you can't go off a person's channel, like YouTube channel, and think that just because you see success, that it's always success, because a lot of us get fooled by that. What's going on, brother Anthony? Welcome. I mean, not brother Anthony, but brother Alex G. You're not a deacon yet until you give us a good testimony. So this you got this huge system, 1,600 gallons total. I know you got some stories to tell, but just give us one story for right now.
Like something bad that happened.
Oh yeah, we want the bad. We don't want the cute stuff. Don't give us the you invite us over and clean your glass and we don't think you got algae. Now give us some horror stories. We want to hear the bad stuff.
I think the biggest horror story was filling my 720-gallon tank, and less than a week later, realizing that the sides and back were bowing. So I had to like emergency drain. So I ended up having to build a whole bracing system around the whole tank to reinforce it.
That's something right there. Like the problems that you will have, I don't wish on nobody. Like that's a lot of water. I mean, definitely you're just talking about 125 gallon. I mean, that's probably like your auto top off reservoir. And I just, I admire you from a distance, Alex. I hope that I can meet you one day and see your tank. But man, I really admire what you're doing with the DIY. Building your own, because you have an aquarium. You don't have a tank. You're like on the you're on a different level than us.
Yeah, hey, anybody could do it. It's just a matter of time and patience. That's all it takes.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, we got my DMV brother from another mother. I text him. So we got Inappropriate Reefer in the building. What's up, the monkey? Hopefully we can get him to join. Tell us one of his we need Inappropriate Reefer to testify. So if y'all want Moki to testify, somebody put an amen in the chat or come as you are, Inappropriate Reefer. We want to hear you testify, brother.
Oh, Moki don't mind testifying about his
No.
He shows it on his channel.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Moki posts everything. Good, bad, controversial, not controversial.
So
what's it called, DC?
We're testifying. We're just telling our story in a hobby. Hold on one second, TMG. We're just Inappropriate. We're just telling some of our reef stories, some of the bad. I know you talk about a lot on your channel, but something that you just want to share with us exclusively. And because we have our brother Dion is going through some hardship in his hobby right now. We're trying to rally around him and get him back. We don't want him to quit because he was talking about quitting, and we like, nah, we don't want to hear that weak talk. So I'm going to we want to get everybody just tell it. Everybody's in here. We all in church, so we just right now is the devotional part of the service, and we just testifying. So.
Well, if you really want me to lay in some old stories, I got some real nightmares for you.
Come on, give it to us, brother Alex. The floor is yours.
Started my saltwater career, 125-gallon tank, which I battled nitrates for 5-6 years. Super high nitrates. Ended up, it was people I was buying from were kind of ripping me off, didn't really know what they were doing. My father at the time, because he was the one that got me kind of into this, because I think secretly he wanted to be a hobbyist.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a few $1,000s worth of stuff. Probably a whole lot of hard lessons learned. That's why I know so much about nitrates.
Oh, wow. So was the high nitrates because you just had a high fish bio, like a high load?
No, I never even got to fully stock my tank in that amount of time because the nitrates were so high they were killing fish. Constantly covered in red slime algae the whole time because, in part, I had used a ton of pumice rock, which is really bad because silicates encourage that stuff. I had something called a quicksand filter, which if you were around in the 90s would know what it is, and probably are just going, ew, get it away, unless you want high nitrates. I also had 2 Magnum 350 canister filters on there, which are also nitrate factories.
Wow. I had one of those Magnum, those nitrate, those filters. I had one. It was like a 350. So my LFS told me that long time ago. But we got one of my closest brothers from another mother. We're gonna call him Deacon Moki. We're in church today, and we're giving our testimonies of some of the bad and ugly. I know you experienced some real bad and ugly times that you share on your channel. But just something that you haven't talked about and that you want to just share with us.
Oh, man, something I have not talked about. Okay, one quick thing that kind of came to mind is that the refugium lights. A lot of people like to use the PA 38, I believe it's called. Those are basically the hydroponic bulb, right? LED bulb. So I used one of those with one of those like Home Depot clamp lights to grow macroalgae. So it was working really well for about half a year or so until one day I woke up and the entire tank, everything's off. Light is off, flow is just quiet. It was bad. I was like, oh, what's going on? So it turns out the return pipe is like a soft tube. The return tube popped out of the socket or the PVC pipe, and I guess it sprayed water onto the refugium light and just kind of like fried the whole thing. So I did not know it was a refugium light that got burned out. So I was plugging everything back in. I reset the fuse, and it started sparking and smoking.
Oh,
that was a hard lesson learned. I thought something went into the refugium, but thankfully everything's okay. So I pulled the bulb out, and since then I have paid attention to using like a waterproof refugium light. That was a hard lesson learned. It was close. I could have lost a lot of things.
Yeah,
I was lucky. Somebody was watching out for me.
I think, yeah, that's now that you say that, like you're talking about like a fire hazard too, almost. Not just losing stuff in your tank, but losing stuff in your home. That's serious. So it goes to show you, the love we have for this hobby, man. It's just it runs deep. It runs deep. So thanks for sharing that, man. I was just thinking about you, man. Like with you, and I admire you because you shed all the ugly. Like, I mean, I believe the night that Mochi died, you start filming it. It was like, wow, man, like that takes a lot of resolve, man. Like, how do you do it, man?
That was rough. I feel like, to be honest, if the way he died, if he looked bad, like for example, for whatever reason he got eaten or something like that, if it was nasty, right? I probably would not have shared it like that. But the fact that he looked like he was still alive, it looks quite peaceful and just kind of like flopped to the side. I thought, all right, you know what, that is okay. So I think like even though I try to share as much as I could, there's still something that I probably would not share. But it just worked out that it was something that's still within my range of acceptable things I share.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Listen, we have a Reef Church, so I'm glad you're a part of the first edition of.
Is this happening? Is it like every month?
This is yeah. The people have spoken, man. So I got.
It is.
All right.
I gotta get the people what they want. So we're gonna do it every Monday. We're gonna have church, Reef Church. But we just share. It ain't always got to be bad stuff. We come in and share the good stuff, and
I like the church.
What's going on? You like church?
Yeah. Well,
you don't have to.
I just had some issues.
Oh, this is
I
the
just had a time, man.
He seems really good at just keeping the conversation going. I'll say that because live streaming is not easy. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. Live streaming is not easy. The hardest thing is to engage the people in the comments and keep a dialogue going between everyone in the chat itself is tough. So tough.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in because it's definitely like. I was nervous, I wanted to start like a stream and have everybody kind of something a little different, Yeah. I don't want to keep it long either, so we're gonna be wrapping it up soon. But if we make any more stories they want to tell, because
I'm next up at the altar because Mage called
yes.
my bluff.
Is that my rival? Is that my rival?
Let him talk.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
give you a proper announcement to the floor. We're having brother TMG. Come to the church. Tell us all what you got to say.
He can't be deacon yet because he got to be baptized.
Yeah, you're a brother. You're not a deacon yet.
So, I had the worst thing that ever happened to me. And, as everybody knows, nothing really bad happens in my reef day. But the worst thing that did happen was I had a case of red bugs. because I got so comfortable with buying stuff and just throwing them in my tank, not sit there or anything. I had red bugs come in on acro crag from LFS that I don't really buy from. So basically, I treated my tank with chemicals to get rid of the red. For anybody who is curious, it's called. I'm looking at it right now. Dr. G. I'm at
TMG, you didn't pay your
That's
tithes
that cricket phone.
because you're the Lord didn't bless you with good service right now, TMG. So
You got that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
oh, he's in like the Starbucks Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. We won't kick you out of Starbucks, TMG. You're welcome here. So while TMG get his service together, we're gonna anybody got anything like encouraging? Like I know like Reefer Palooza is coming up real soon. Everybody in the chat is gonna be here. I know me and Moki, we're gonna be in the house. And we're gonna be meeting Anthony, Infamous Aquatics, the week after, I believe, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Moki,
that's exciting.
there's no, don't you flake on me. I'm flying into town to hang out with y'all. Don't you flake on me.
Me and Moki gonna roll out the red carpet for you, man.
Nah, I told you, no red carpet. Just some reef tanks and just chilling. That's all I want to do, man. I've been talking to y'all for how long? I'm just looking forward to actually like really just like kicking it for a little bit and just talking.
Okay.
That'd be cool, man. I mean, we've been talking for almost a year, right?
Yeah, dude.
About, like reef tank, YouTube, and stuff like that, video editing.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Be awesome.
Dude, I can't wait, man. I just want to go to like a dope Chinese restaurant and see some reef tanks. That's it.
You know something? If you want to come to DC, so some of our food, we're famous for the chicken wings and mumble sauce.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Staple.
Let's do that. I can vlog it too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you're talking about. I know what chicken wings are, but I don't know what mumble sauce is.
Moki, you had mumble sauce before, right? Chicken wings and mumble sauce?
I don't think so, man. So that'll be first time for me as well.
Yeah, that's like a DC thing right there. Or Ben's Chili Bowl.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I want to try that stuff.
My bad. Yeah, my router.
Dr. G's.
I want to see the legendary, was it 45?
40.
Moki's cube, and I want to see DC's tank.
It's 45 is legendary. This guy, Moki, is very modest.
He's a legend.
No.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, DC, and this makes you kind of feel funny. But the first time I talked to Moki, like on Hangouts, just us two, I was fanboying so hard.
Moki it's funny because he's a very humble guy, very modest guy, and he feels the same about all of us. Like I know we kind of rank each other, like a hierarchy in YouTube, but it's always a joy to be around Moki, man. And,
go hang out, you guys.
Look, it's just like you can't. Everyone just gasses Moki up.
Yeah, he don't like it. He
don't. He's like, oh, get me off this thing.
Yeah.
But it's true, man. Like it's like I was actually talking to Dev about it today. And it was like there's something about Moki is just like so personable, fun, and like just positive that you just like it's contagious and everyone just wants to follow along.
I'm out, guys.
About getting DC's tank was not telling DC, hey, I want to meet Moki too. Like, let's
Listen, it's funny because I feel like I'm Moki's bodyguard sometimes because I be like when I first met I was like, no Sally questions. Anybody in the chat, you got any Sally questions, you gotta come through me. It ain't happening.
Actually, I'll try to see if Sally want to come out as well.
Yeah, tell her. Bring whoever, man, to be honest.
Has she started the 17 gallon yet?
Yes, yeah. Basically, we just kind of moved it over to a place with some of the water in there. We brought a lot of water over as well. So it is up and running, and she added some of her corals in there. Although her light recently blew out, I think it's a couple of days ago. Maybe you didn't hear my UFO light with the tank, so she got a well as well. Yeah, it's up and running.
Okay. That's awesome. You know, I would like to get her perspective. Maybe she could join the church one day because she's a new reefer. So I want to see how she dealt with like any losses or the highs and lows. Kind of want to see how she how she takes it because like for us, we've been in it doing it for a long time. We kind of got a thick skin.
Yeah.
But with newer reefers, it's really hard on them. Like Dion in the chat, it's really hard on them when you lose, when you take a loss because it's like a devastating thing. Is that kind of accurate?
Yes, it is. I've been through it, and it sucks.
Yeah, Tina.
Yeah,
How long you been in the hobby, Tina?
Almost a year. It'll be a year next month.
Okay. So at any point did you because I know you really invested. Have you ever been to the point where you just want to quit and just walk away?
I did with my first tank. I lost my entire tank to velvet because I didn't have the knowledge that I do now. And I put the tank up, said I'm not doing it again, and it was folks like you guys that were like, don't give up. And now I've got a 75-gallon aquarium with a sump, and it's beautiful. And now I'm getting ready to start seahorse tank.
That's great.
Here's that crab.
Go ahead, Death Mage.
That's what I want to start. Once I get that 25-gallon lagoon up and running, that's what I want to try to do in the 16-gallon with macroalgae and seahorses. My kids like seahorses, and I do too. And it's just another challenge for me because I heard it's really hard with seahorses. So I just want to see if I can keep them as I like them. I see people breeding them all the time.
What type are you thinking about getting, Mage?
I don't know. It's a 16-gallon, so whatever can fit in there. I know they have different sizes.
Yeah, I'm going with the hippo erectus. I can't say the whole name. I've got it in my head, but it just won't come out. But I'm going to go with the bigger ones because they're easier to take care of from what I've been told.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yes, they are. And my daughter, who's almost 20, is just like, Mama, you know what I want for my birthday? And I'm like, what? She says, I want seahorses.
Yeah, I think my kids will love seahorses. And then I have a 20-gallon long that I used to have my 75-gallon. I'm going to take those baffles out and clean it. And I want to see if I could do a freshwater plant tank with guppies. I love guppies.
There you
by
go.
the way.
So what's we're gonna go through the line. We're gonna start with Alex G. What's the dream fish or your favorite fish? Being that you got a 1,600 gallon, you could probably put any fish you want. But what's your favorite top?
Oh, well, probably some of my favorites are these guys here, which I'm gonna try and feed.
Wow, look
Hopefully they don't fight. All right, you back off.
Those are puffers, right?
I love the puffers.
Yeah, so he just ripped the whole tail off a cocktail shrimp that's partially frozen.
Wow, look at him.
They're so cute.
Wow. Okay,
Yes,
Death Mage, what's your favorite fish, Death Mage?
Triggers.
Triggers, any particular one? And
I don't have a particular. I just love triggers. They all have that same shape. I just love the shape of the fish. It doesn't matter what color they are. I just like them.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go back to Alex because my first fish was a dog-faced puffer. So you my bro right now, Alex. So I love the puffer.
Well, I got a dog face and a porcupine here, which I have to be a little careful because the porcupines bit the face of the dog face a couple of times, which never works out really well for anybody. No, you come over here.
I'm also with you, my second fish was the Nigel trigger. I like how that is like all black and it looked like a bat in water.
Yeah, I called mine Count Dracula because I was waiting for him to get bigger because once they get bigger, they get their red fangs, and that's what I really wanted to see. Now I gotta start all over.
Okay, Ninja, it's on you. I know you had time to think. What's your favorite fish that you had or never had?
Never had, for sure. Favorite fish I've had was my blue spot jawfish.
Oh man.
Yeah, most personality I've ever seen in a fish. Like, it was like it sounds silly, but we would like play peekaboo, and almost felt like I would like dip behind the sofa, and he would just like come out into the water column, and the moment I pop up, he'd like dip back into the the rocks, and we just keep. And I would like come around to the rocks, and he would just like pop his head around the other side. Most personality I've ever seen in a fish. Fish I always wanted is a marine beta.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you about to make me cry, Infamous, because man, I had a in the lagoon, I had a blue spot jawfish, and it died. Man, that was one of my favorite fish.
I couldn't get him to eat anything but like anything that wasn't like what's it called, like brine or anything like that. It had to be like frozen food. And I went out of town, and I was gone for a month, and my roommate obviously isn't like spot feeding my freaking jawfish. And he just like passed away.
Well, that sucks, man.
Yeah,
John, what's your favorite fish?
Favorite that I've kept is pretty much any Zebrasoma tang. I know that they're probably one of the more basic saltwater fish, but most of the ones I've had have had unique personalities. I don't really know how to explain it other than to tell a little story about I had a baby blue tang, blue hippo tang, and her and my sailfin, they were cuddle buddies, man. Like I don't know how to explain it. And then like when she would go to try to cuddle with somebody else, he'd get mad and go over there and like tail slap them away. So I don't know. Like I had a really close attachment to those two.
Okay.
What kind of fish is the zebra? Whatever you said.
Zebrasoma is the scientific name for your regular surgeonfish style tangs, like a yellow tang, sailfin tang, scopus, purple, blue.
Yeah, you got to break down layman's terms to me because I don't know all those scientific names.
You're good. It's just
that AKA TWA, tangs with attitudes.
Yeah, because my yellow tang, which is Zoolander, I'm glad I still have him left. He's the one in my tank that I have to put in timeout.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. he attacked my triggerfish, my my fox face, any new fish I add to the tank. It doesn't matter how big they are. He's just like go crazy.
Yeah. See, I didn't have that issue because all mine were babies when I got them, so they were pretty comfortable with each other and other fish.
That's dope. So, Mr. Moki, what's your dream now that you got this 150-gallon tall armpit, need a snorkel tank? what's your like dream fish or favorite fish that you would want to put in that tank?
I got a few, man, but I'll say a beefy, chunky, big lionfish, a black lionfish.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
a good one. I've never seen that.
Yeah, that will limit what I could put in the tank, but that's just one of my goals. Just keep a lionfish in the reef. That would be awesome.
Wow.
Of course, a kind of type of eel. Maybe I think a dragon eel would be cool, a Japanese dragon eel. But of course, that will probably rip up all the cleanup crew and other fish as well. But I'd say those two are probably two fish that I would love to keep at one point. Probably some of my favorite fish. The kind of fish that I have kept before that I would consider my favorite. I had a white spot black boxfish.
Okay.
Many years ago, I had a 65-gallon tank. It's mixed reef. It's I just kind of let it go, and it seems to reach like an equilibrium that does well. But the strange thing is that a lot of new fish got introduced, they would just perish after a week or two.
I've had two of those white spot boxfish.
Yeah, but I had that white spot boxfish for a while. Great personality, looked beautiful, looked really unique. But one day she just disappeared. So, but that was one of my favorite fish.
Wow, that's that you say like a predator fish. Because I when I think about reef, of reefers, I wouldn't think that we would ever like get fish that kind of like decimate like cleanup crews and stuff. But it's awesome that you still had that love for certain, predator fish and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mostly when it comes time, like would I have to fight to kind of drop in a lionfish, which will limit a lot of my livestock selection.
I think if I dare you, I think if I like double dog dare you, You'll do it.
Oh, dude, I'll triple dog dare you right now. Do it. Do it. Bro, have you seen that predator? There's like a predator reef on YouTube of a 40-gallon with 2 dwarf lionfish and an eel. Amazing.
That's what I was about to say. You can definitely keep most breeds of eel with a lionfish.
I would do it,
So,
man. That's gonna be
I've
awesome.
white ribbon eel and a green wolf eel, and they co-inhabit a 30-gallon tank, and they love each other.
No issue at all. Something to think about. I still got some time to decide, I think. But I think lionfish is pretty likely.
Yeah, I was so tempted. Like, this is a DC exclusive. I'm so tempted to get like a Fu Manchu lionfish.
Oh yes, love that fish too.
Those guys are cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
I like the dwarf fuzzies.
And the thing is too, like, I'm thinking about possibly upgrading to like a 30, because I have a month-long trip. Like when I meet you guys, immediately after that, I'm going to like Switzerland. And I'm like coming back. So I have like a whole month where I'm not even gonna be here. So if I do it, it'll definitely be after that whole trip.
Interesting. Tina's Reef. What's a fish that you kind of want, or like your favorite, I guess, top fish?
Okay, well, my favorite one is my my yellow tang, Sunny D.
Sunny D, I like that.
Yep, he's got quite the personality. And as far as a fish that I want and I'm waiting for is a magnificent fox face.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if I could put that in a 75, so I may have to just go with the smaller version of a.
He was in my
one spot.
Mine was
What was
in my
that?
75.
Was
How
it?
small is it? Yep. How small is it?
Awesome. I don't know yet. I'm waiting to get one. So
Before I got the 125, that's where my magnificent fox face was, in that 75-gallon tank.
Okay.
Wow.
So, but they do get big. But if you're getting them small, you know, it take a while for them to grow out. It gives you time if you want to upgrade to a bigger tank.
Yeah, I probably won't upgrade to a bigger tank though. That's the thing. I think 75 is where I'm going to stay for my age. It's I don't want to be
totally agree
a
with
bigger tank in 20 years.
Yeah, go for what's
is a good
comfortable.
size.
Yeah, for sure. TMG, last but not least, the man with the smoke detector that doesn't beep no more. What's your favorite fish? What's like what would you have? What would you build your tank around fish wise?
Dream tank shark, man. That'll be a shark.
A shark?
Yeah, I need a shark, bro.
Oh, he went for the juggler. Okay, a shark. Okay.
No, I literally I've seen this reef tank in Israel, and it's basically like an outdoor reef tank, and you can look at it top down, and it's full blown reef tank with all the predators, sharks, everything, and I'm just like, yo, I need that. So when I become a multi-millionaire, that's what's gonna happen, man. So give me like 2 years.
Hey, I won't shoot down nobody's dreams. I thought you were gonna say like a shark, like you know how they have them like
freshwater sharks?
DIY, you know, the little cat sharks that sit at the bottom. Like I don't consider those sharks. You know, they like bottom dwelling sharks. Like a nurse shark or a black tip shark. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, like a black tip.
Wow.
Yeah, something not anything like a big, like you know what I mean, like but something small.
Oh, okay, that's dope. Well, guys, church was awesome. We're about to have benediction. If y'all don't know what benediction is, that's like the end of the church. So I want to thank everybody for joining. It's 9:30. I'm gonna try to make it more structured next time. I'm give y'all a heads up. I think everybody kind of likes going to Reef Church, so we're gonna do it again next Monday. Thank everybody. I want to thank Death Mage, thank Infamous Aquatics, Alex G, John, my brother from another DMV mother. I always say that when I talk about Inappropriate Reefer. I want to thank you too, bro. Tina's Reef and TMG. And thank y'all for, tuning in, everybody. So y'all have a
Yes,
good
sir.
night.
Thanks for having us.
God bless. Amen. Drop some more church emojis, and we'll do it again next week. All right.
Thanks, PC.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Peace.
Have a great night, everyone.
Right.